Well, that's even better. I hope no one tried talking to us.
Savage Corn just got here.
Oh, corn boy! Or girl. Probably boy, let's be honest. I got offered a job today.
Oh, sweet.
GS. It would require me to stop flying.
You got offered a gunshot?
Hmm?
You said GS, gunshot?
No, government service. It's like a government job.
Okay, a streamer said he'll offer you a job.
I'm a great fluffer. I'll tell you what.
I tell you what.
Tell you what. But yeah, so we'll see. I don't know if I'm ready to give that up yet, but
Yeah,
GS is GS, you know.
I don't, but we can talk about it.
It's working for the government. It's really hard to fire you. The pay is consistent, except for when the government shuts down, of course. And
That only happens like once every 4 years.
the benefits are kick ass.
There
Retirement's
you go.
really good. So I'm thinking about it. We'll see.
Sweet action. Well, let's since we got started, but we haven't done shots yet, so let's get some shots in.
All right.
You want to go first or second?
I want to go first.
Go ahead.
So this shot isn't to a person. It's to a concept, an idea, a thought. I've been having really weird dreams lately. I've been taking this lion's mane. It's supposed to help with memory. It's just a mushroom. Not one of those mushrooms. It's just super legal. But I've been having the fucking craziest dreams. If I have another crazy dream where I wake up fucking sad as shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. So my shot is to say fuck you to dreams. I hate them now. Because they're always nightmares. They've been weird too. Like my mom dying or my dog getting ran over. And it just feels so real. And I wake up like depressed. Really happy that no one's fucking dead. But
Relieved, but still in that emotional state.
yes, like the sobbing and stuff like that happened in the dream. I'm like, God damn. It's insane.
Yeah.
So fuck you, dreams. Can't have dreams where I'm having sex with Blake Lively. No, my mom has to die. So fuck you, dreams.
Blake Lively, interesting choice.
I just saw an article about her and Ryan Reynolds.
Sure you did. Just happened to go pick out that article because I saw it had picked up that magazine because I saw it had an interview with Blake Lively on it.
Wacky Shirt Wednesdays now, though.
Well, did you see my father-in-law's shirt?
I know I wasn't paying attention.
He had SpongeBob on his Hawaiian shirt.
It's awesome. Did the boys get it for him?
No, he has them all on his own.
That's even better. I do love him though. I think he's one of the coolest fucking people I know. Hands down.
Yeah. All right, so my shot is going to be kind of up your alley. My shot is going out to nurses everywhere. They'd have a tough job. My wife had a few days in the hospital, had some procedures, and had some awesome nurses. And one doesn't think of the lot of things that nurses deal with on a day-to-day basis that, yeah, cheers to nurses.
Nurses are all right. I mean, if we didn't have nurses, we wouldn't have nursing students, and if we didn't have nursing students, we wouldn't have strippers. So I definitely
Exactly.
necessary, absolutely necessary. Life's been weird. Life's been busy. I gotta be up at 4 tomorrow. For more
That sucks.
Weird, busy stuff. I gotta go to the air show in Houston. They're flying me down, putting me in a room, doing a whole dog and pony show. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, so you just have to get up to go fly?
No, this weekend is work. It's our.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying you have to be up at 4 so you can fly out tomorrow.
No. That's at the end of the month. This is more of all the work that I've because like I have a huge thing that we planned with our staging squadron, which we never fucking do. That it's my baby, and that's Friday, but I have to finish planning tomorrow. And you know we have drill weekends, but we didn't have one last month, and so now we have a 4-day drill weekend, and so it's just a lot. It's a month's
Fair
worth
enough.
of work in 2 days, typically. So 2 months worth of work in 4 days.
Sweet.
It'll be what it'll be.
Yeah.
You're missing out on probably the best game Gabe and I have ever discovered in the history of our lives. By the way.
I'm sorry I was, dealing with family stuff.
Yeah, I suppose.
My bad.
Ale and Tail Tavern. It's running a tavern. That's it. With adventuring and combat and it's been a great time. It's definitely not up your alley though, I don't think.
Maybe. I don't know. Never played it.
That's true. It's only $14, so it is. I've definitely gotten my $14 worth at this point.
I spent more on the mobile game that I've been playing in one go than that.
What mobile game are you playing?
It's like Last War or something, just some stupid one that I downloaded.
Yeah.
They had a battle pass. And I spent a lot of time in waiting rooms this last week.
I mean,
so
if you put in enough hours to make your money worth it, then it's worth it. And that's my personal opinion. What's it like? $10 for every hour entertained? No, $15 for every 2 hours entertained. So $7, $7.50. It's what you pay for a movie.
$15 an hour for a movie?
$15 for 2 hours for a movie.
So $7.50 an hour?
$7.50 an hour.
Yeah.
And if I go over that, then fuck it. I'm having a really good time.
Yeah.
Like Once Human, I've already put 7.
It's free.
And it's free. And I haven't spent any money on the battle pass or anything because the cosmetics are ass. They fucking suck. So I'm just saving money because it's ugly.
There you go.
Can't complain.
So one thing I kind of want to talk about was it's very interesting with the medical field, kind of with what happened with my wife and stuff, but how much you either have to totally self-diagnose yourself or like don't say anything to doctors when you go in to see them.
I wouldn't do that. What do you mean don't say anything?
Well, don't give them like ideas of what you think it is.
Not
Don't
diagnose
send
yourself.
them.
Nope. No. Yeah. Now,
What do you mean?
I don't
No, I want you to explain. You said don't diagnose yourself. Explain.
I don't want this to come across the wrong way because there are some people who can self-diagnose very efficiently, very properly, right? And it's awesome because it's a leg up. It's like, hey doc, I think I have this, and you do have that, and here are my symptoms for that. And symptoms are symptoms, right? They could be a huge amount of illnesses. We could be on an episode of House where it's this fucking rare parasite you picked up from shoving a pear up your ass. Like, it is what it is. What I'm saying is there's a lot of patients that come in, and I've seen it, who self-diagnose and stick their feet in the ground about it and are wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
No.
it happens more often than the patients that self-diagnose and are right, or the patients that self-diagnose and are flexible in the diagnosis.
Yeah.
So
People are stupid.
that's why
Majority,
yeah.
the masses are not very intelligent. But what I'm saying is like going in, like we were open with my wife. She had started off with some back pain and turned into some leg pain. And, I was kind of like, well, maybe it's your sciatic. Maybe you slept wrong, pinched it, and it's just inflamed. Try sitting down for a few days. And, and the pain kept getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went into the doctor and I was like, oh, this is what I think it is. Well, then they were just like, oh, okay, well, we'll give you a shot for some pain and, send you on down the line.
Which
And
bad
like,
on the doc for that.
like nobody looked at her leg. She ended up having a blood clot and nobody looked at her leg to see if it was swollen or, because we brought it back and what we thought it was, they just kind of went. So like, because I think most of us think with the medical system, like it's going to be like an episode of House. Like, but I don't think everybody realizes what goes in probably for all of those people to get into an episode of House. those people probably spent 6 months to a year of going to their general practice doctor, then an orthopedic, then, a different specialist, then a neuro specialist, and all these different people to finally get to that.
Yeah.
And like it's very, I want to say, frustrating, because it's like you have to get through so many different levels of nonsense to get to an actual doctor.
And it could be an emergency, because what happened to your wife was an emergency.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because, the referral went over to that doctor on a Friday. She had they made an appointment with her for the following Friday, and then it admitted us that day. And then as he's talking to us, he's telling us, if they catch these within 2 to 4 weeks, it can be a big difference than catching them after that, because the blood clots can harden and stuff. And I'm like, cool, you've had our referral for a week. Mm-hmm. So that could have been the difference between a hardened blood clot and a non-hardened one. Mm-hmm. You tell me how important it is for the timing, but then we have to wait a week to see you.
I personally consider that an emergency.
And we even went into the ER that night. Mm-hmm. And nobody did anything.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And you could blame burnout. You could blame so many different things, but it doesn't matter. That's an emergency, and it should have been treated like an emergency. Personal opinion.
So, it's just, but it's crazy how much you have to go fight for your own healthcare.
You are your biggest advocate, and it sucks ass.
Well, but you just said you shouldn't self-diagnose yourself and dig your feet in.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
So then how can you be your own self-advocate if you're not supposed to dig your feet in?
You don't be flexible in your diagnosis, but be firm. Don't just be like, I have cancer, it's cancer, blah, 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 blah. Be like, no, you don't have cancer, but you might have this, so let's test for this. We have patients that have been like, no, I don't want to get tested for that. I have this. Treat me for this. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. But you do have to be your own advocate and stick up for yourself and be like, hey, this still hurts. I think this is an emergency. Can you please check? It's a fine line, and it sucks that way. It's even a conversation. It sucks.
Well, I strongly think that that's how my grandpa passed away.
Probably.
It was a complete miss. When they did an ultrasound on his leg, they looked only at the vein and did not look at the artery. Which, how close are the vein and the arteries in your legs, Thomas?
Sometimes they literally touch.
Well, that's one of the things that my wife was diagnosed with. So they literally almost touch. Yeah. And whoever did the ultrasound did not look at the artery and didn't notice the blood clot that went from hip to toe in his leg. Oof.
Well,
but you know what they did? They did give him fentanyl for the pain. Because his whole leg had no blood flow. And he was even with fentanyl, was in excruciating pain.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that's going to really help that is propofol and ketamine, which will just knock you out.
Yeah. So.
I don't like it.
We haven't really talked about that on the podcast. So I figured I'm a little fired up after this weekend.
You should be. But she's okay.
Yeah, her doctor, and I will say her doctor was a great guy. He was very, very knowledgeable, explained everything to me. It helps a ton that my sister-in-law is an echo tech and happened to be there after her procedure the first time. So, heard everything that they were talking about and was her and the doctor had, those conversations that were, in doctor talk.
Yes.
That I'm like...
in doctor talk. It's yeah.
Yeah, it was Charlie Brown's teacher. That's
what my mom says. Yeah. But it's nice to have an advocate. Someone who gives a shit that actually understands it. And it's not even understanding all of it, because they're not on the same level, right? But just having that foot in the door makes a world of difference in how you're treated,
And that personal connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because him knowing that, it's somebody he works with, family, I think goes a super long way. Because you can definitely see the change in attitude.
Because it's not it's not, and this is going to sound wrong, but we do it, and then we all do it. She went from being a patient to being a person.
Yes.
And that changes the game instantly.
Oh, for sure.
Like I said, it's not wrong to do that.
It's like if you're walking down the street, let's say me and you are walking down the street and we see some guy on the other side of the street and you see him, you're like, oh, that's a dude. And then I'm like, oh, hey, that's my buddy, Bill. We're then going to go talk to him. And you're like, oh, I know Bill now. And it's easier to make that connection versus two people just walking past each other on the side of the street.
Correct. Exactly. And it's a defense mechanism too. You lose patience. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
It just happens. And so having that wall is helpful. But then you get into burnout, and then you get into not mistreatment of patients, but just an overall uncaring for their general well-being, which is something I personally don't really deal with a whole lot. I have the inverse effect. I'm very caring, is what I've been told. But when patients die, it hits me pretty hard. Every time.
Yeah.
So, it's a catch-22, I suppose. But God, I love healthcare. No, I don't love healthcare. I love medicine. Medicine's so fucking interesting. It's so fun. More than anything else, it's just fucking awesome. And it is like speaking another language.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Well, and they know all, like, especially like this was dealing with, a DVT, and they're talking, oh, is it May Turner's and all this stuff.
That's a deep vein thrombosis.
Yes, I've Googled it since then. But, had you said
that was for corn.
But there's so much, and they're talking about different veins and, like this and that. And I'm like, I want to go to Hawaii. I'm just a kid with Down syndrome sitting in the corner trying to figure out what's going on. And,
it's awesome.
Because it is. It's a lot to take in, and,
it's a lot of training.
Yeah. I did think it was crazy. So one of her nurses, she was their day nurse for 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually a teacher for like 20 some years and became a nurse. She's only been a nurse for like 2 years now.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not like she was getting paid well.
Yeah. That was why she switched, because she just say, I needed the money, or, and I think she was kind of like, I don't know if I could have dealt with the kids for the next 20 years too.
Yeah. It's not a bad career to be a nurse. It's, there's so many ways you can branch off in nursing. It's such a broad thing. So
yeah. Yes, Corin, the verbiage of doctors is way beyond my vocabulary.
It's like magic.
And it is like talking to an engineer.
Yeah, like so.
Or yeah.
If an engineer or a mechanic started talking to me about like anything that involve cars or engineering, or when you talk about electricity, I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a language I don't know. Just like if we had a nerd who was talking to us about programming, we don't fucking know that shit.
Well, and see, that's one of my, I don't want to say problems, but one of my things is I know a lot about a lot of different things. Like I could kind of understand what they were talking about when my sister-in-law and the doctor were talking. Like, not that I knew what they were talking about, but I got the gist of what the conversation they were having was.
Yeah.
Like, I had to look up, like, okay, well, what's May Turner's? But, they both arrived at things, and, I could tell how they were going about it.
Yeah. Which is, that's really good. That's already half the fucking battle. Just understanding the context clues, what they're talking about. It's interesting. Yeah. You see the shift on doctors and nurses and everybody when they're talking to you and they're explaining stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I'm medical. The conversation just does a complete flip, and where my parents could follow along, now they can't anymore, or it's harder, and it's interesting. I think it's really cool. It's like it's
Yes,
like, it's like talking.
Sorry, I was responding to Corn.
What did Corn say?
He said it's sort of like how you don't understand a language, but it has some English words mixed in, so you can get the gist of the conversation.
Yeah, just like that. It's really fun. It's interesting. It's like talking to a Korean and talking to them in English, and they're having a tough time. You're like, oh no, I speak Korean. It's cool. Life's cool. It also sucks, but there's titties out there, so it doesn't suck that much. I do.
That's a weird thing to say after talking about titties.
I don't know. I mean, what do you do with them, Matt?
Well, I don't think you suck titties. We know what you suck.
Is that right?
That's why you like ducks so much. They remind you of your favorite shape.
I'll have you know these are geese. $7? Can you believe this was only $7?
You overpaid.
I've already worn it a shit ton of times too.
You still overpaid.
And then I got my Captain one that was hot dogs.
Mm.
Fucking awesome. Fucking love hot dogs. Okay. Medical stuff aside. What's your favorite way to eat a hot dog? Because a hot dog's a sandwich. So it coincides with our...
First of all, no, it's not. It's not a sandwich.
Hot dog's a sandwich.
Hot dog's not a sandwich.
That hot dog is absolutely...
A hot dog is its own entity. And so is a burger.
A burger
and a sandwich is a sandwich.
SpongeBob called a burger a sandwich? It's a sandwich.
Oh, because SpongeBob is the leading authority on what's what.
Yeah. If SpongeBob did it, if he said it, it's true.
No. I've seen the guy who plays SpongeBob. I don't believe anything he says.
SpongeBob is right. A burger is a sandwich, so is a hot dog.
A burger is not a sandwich. Neither is a hot dog.
A hot pocket is a calzone. A Pop-Tart is just a sweet calzone.
I can agree with you on both of those things. I don't know if I would say a Pop-Tart is a calzone. A Pop-Tart's like a... I would label a Pop-Tart more of a breakfast pastry.
Which is a calzone. Bread with a filling.
No, a calzone has meat inside of it.
Not always.
Calzone is not just meat with filling.
You've never had a 4-cheese calzone?
No.
Yeah, me neither. But I've seen them on the menus.
You tried... If you offered me a 4-cheese calzone, I would say no. Even if I was really hungry, I would still say no.
What if it was free?
I'd still say no. I'd ask my kids if they want it.
So
I'd say, hey, do you pussies want some vegetarian calzones?
It's not... Well, it is vegetarian. Do you eat... Oh, is it vegetarian? Can vegetarians eat cheese?
Yes, vegans can't.
Ah, okay.
Vegetarians just don't eat meat.
Okay. I guess that's better, but whatever. Would you eat a grilled cheese?
If I had to, I'd prefer not to. I usually like a ham and cheese.
I will admit I'm not a huge fan of grilled cheese. Throw some bacon in that bitch, and now we're talking, you know.
Oh, yeah. I like meat.
Oh, we all know.
That's it. Like, I don't want to eat a meal without meat in it. Period.
That's fair. I don't think I do. I can't remember the last meal I've had
like
there wasn't meat, or at least eggs, some sort of.
Or, I will say, you know, one thing I really hate, and my wife and kids do this. Well, my wife and one of my kids, when we go to restaurants and they order a grilled cheese.
Oh, Holly does it.
Motherfuckers! I just spent $9 for you to get a fucking 2 pieces of bread and cheese. If all you wanted was grilled cheese for supper, we could have stayed home and I would have made that for you and saved myself the fucking $25.
Okay, caveat, similar, segue. I think I know the moment Holly fell in love with me. And it's because I made her a grilled cheese. She was talking about how much she loves grilled cheese. Every time I go to Whataburger, she gets grilled cheese. Every single fucking time. And so we've talked about it before, but the movie Chef with Jon Favreau, in it he makes a grilled cheese. It's a 4-cheese grilled cheese. It's stacked, looks really nice. So I made that grilled cheese, and I'm 90% sure that's the moment she fell in love with me. When she wanted a grilled cheese, and I made her this fucking badass grilled cheese, and that was it.
So it could have been anybody that made her that grilled cheese, and so she could be in love with anybody at this time.
But it wasn't anybody; it was me.
So Savage Corn says that he knows a banger grilled cheese where he puts mayo and Dijon mustard on the outside to get the bun crunchy.
So the mayo, absolutely, because when you cook mayonnaise, especially over high heat, it just becomes
cooks
fat.
the eggs.
Yeah, it's just fat. So it's actually really good if you can't get butter for like hamburgers. If you want like a toasted bun with butter on it, just throw mayo. You can replace mayo with mashed potatoes too, for anyone who's lactose intolerant. My cousin does that. Doesn't taste like mayonnaise at all because it cooks, right? So, like, cool concept.
So you have a cousin that spreads mashed potatoes on their burger?
No, she just uses mayo instead of milk for her mashed potatoes.
Oh, okay. I thought you said she replaced the mayo with mashed potatoes. You were like, you can also use mashed potatoes. So I was like, so what? She just has like a tub of mashed potatoes in her fridge that she spreads onto buns and bread and cooks them?
No, but that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Honestly?
It would, no, it wouldn't work.
I'm willing to try, or at least dip a burger in mashed potatoes.
Well, yeah. I mean, have you ever had like a hot hamburger?
All my hamburgers are hot because I cook them.
Do you know what a hot hamburger is?
No.
So you make your burger and you put it on bread, and then in the middle you take a clump of mashed potatoes, and then you pour gravy all over everything, and you just eat it with a fork.
Oh, that sounds
so you're dipping your bread. Yeah, it's called a hot hamburger, and you can get like a hot roast beef. They'll make hot roast beef sandwiches.
I've had a hot turkey sandwich.
Yep, similar.
It's
a big thing up in the Midwest.
That sounds scrumptious.
Yeah.
I would eat that. I should try that. Oh, I gotta remember to prep the chicken pot pie tonight for my dad. I do a crock pot chicken pot pie. Throw all the ingredients in the crock pot, let it stew, right, all day, and you come home, make crescent rolls, and just dip that shit in the gravy chicken, like with the veggies.
That sounds better than most pies that I have, because they're usually like the bottom just stays doughy for some reason.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't know why.
It's not the perfect meal, but the poor man's pot pie, or you can use biscuits if you like biscuits. Just any kind of bread, hot bread, dip it in that shit. I mean, tearing up bowls. Throw some hot sauce in it.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. It's a fucking bag of frozen vegetables, some chicken, and some cream of chicken cans. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Ooh, tomorrow is my mom's birthday.
Oh, it's my niece's birthday tomorrow.
Also, happy 9/11.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Where were you when the world stopped turning?
First grade.
On that September day.
My dad deployed like 3 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw a sandwich that I do want to try and make.
Okay.
And I've never done this before.
Okay.
So I watched him make it. I think it was an article that I read. But it was like, and I think they had some turkey. And they had 3 slices of bread, 3 slices of cheese, and then obviously meat in between it. And they cut the crusts off. And then they cut it into... they cut the crust off. They then dipped it into egg and fried it on all 6 sides in a pan. And then cut it up. And I was like, I'm not going to lie, that sounds pretty fucking tasty.
It seems more like stunt food, personally.
Stunt food?
Stunt food. It's food that looks appetizing, but is actually just like, meh.
Well, it was like a chef that talked about where, I don't remember where they make it at, but he said it's one of their more popular sandwiches.
I mean,
and I was just like, it makes sense though, like having a sandwich and then
Turning it into a calzone.
like, well, not necessarily a calzone, but just covering it with egg and then pan frying it.
Oh, I thought they breaded it after the egg. That's where I thought this was going.
No, it's just egg. It's just egg, and then they just fry it on all sides. So it's like having a sandwich with an egg outside.
I'm down. Like that's bad.
That's kind of what I was like. I was like, I'm a little worried about the middle and make sure in the middle gets cooked because obviously some of that egg's gonna seep in. But I was like, fuck, I'd try that. That sounds pretty tasty.
I'd fuck that up. Anything with egg though, I'd fuck up. Let's be honest. I love eggs. I made spring rolls the other day, and I put.
Is that why she's your best friend? Is because her name is Egg and you love eggs?
That's exactly the reason. She's one of my best friends. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I did. Sorry, Gabe.
No, like, I'm always down to try weird foods and weird recipes, because I've discovered some pretty fucking scrumptious shit over the years that I didn't think would be delicious. Or just
like what?
Chicken marsala. I make a poor man's chicken marsala very, very often now. Instead of doing the mushrooms and all of that, all I do is chop up an onion really fine and deglaze the pan that I seared the chicken with the marsala wine and add chicken stock. It's just a pan sauce, right? Because it's not marsala because there's not mushrooms. But it's the easiest way for me to turn any kind of chicken I make in a pan into something fucking delicious.
Interesting.
Just learning the technique of like, if I deglaze the pan with instead of like white wine or cooking wine, marsala, which is a wine still, it gives it that marsala flavor. It's delicious. I will eat it. I will tear it up every goddamn time. It's so good.
You're gonna go into like weird combinations here, like not just a cooking technique.
Oh, I mean, I eat weird stuff, but I put eggs in my spring rolls. I made a rolled omelet and I put that in my spring roll.
Well, that's just adding an outside to an omelet.
I guess.
You're literally that's just like eating anything inside of a tortilla.
Also, like doing the whole lime and Doritos thing. I know some people think that's gross. It's absolutely delicious.
Well, it just makes your chips all fucking soggy.
Not if you eat it fast. Or get a spoon and just slop it up. I put lime in fucking everything. That's a personal choice that a lot of people don't like. So
I can see that.
I save it. Like, I made a demi-glace sauce, which takes for fucking ever. And at the end of it, my girlfriend really liked it. She's like, this is so good. And so I saved half for her, half for me, and I threw lime juice in mine. And for me, it upgraded the dish. For her, she would have hated it after that. Do you eat anything weird food-wise?
Well, obviously, I think everything I eat is normal because I eat it.
I guess.
But probably the strangest thing that I can tell you that I eat, strangest combination, would be a fried egg and peanut butter toast.
I've heard about that, though. I've heard hot peanut butter is the way to go.
Yeah, it's just the combo of like the yolk and the peanut butter together. I think it's fucking delicious.
I'm down.
Like we'll make breakfast sandwiches, and my wife's like, "Oh, I want bacon and eggs and toast, like just in a breakfast sandwich or sausage or whatever it is." And I'm like, "I'll take like eggs and two pieces of toast with peanut butter on them."
But I mean, if you like it, fuck it. Who cares?
That's what I'll eat. It's delicious.
Have you ever had a fried peanut butter and jelly?
Yep, I did that the other day.
It makes the peanut butter and jelly 10 times
I
better.
will. So that is the one thing I will say. I do. That's peanut butter and jelly is about the only meal that I eat without meat in it, or like an egg.
That's fair. I think the same. No, because I'll fuck up a grilled cheese if I have tomato soup. I'll also just eat spaghetti without meat. Like, I can do that. That's fine. I'd prefer to throw pepperonis in it.
Gross.
But I'll put beef. So my life hack for any pasta sauce that I make is I throw beef bouillon powder in it. Every time. It just gives it a beefy flavor for every pasta sauce. Oh, so much better. If it's a white sauce, I do chicken bouillon. Gives it a chickeny flavor. Like when I make homemade Alfredo, I use chicken stock. Oh, so much better. So much fucking better. What you got?
I guess. My bat.
Huh?
I hold on to it every podcast.
Do you? Is that your
A lot of them.
your gimmick? Well, I had that cat for a while, but I gave it to my sister. I got Dragonite up there. But yeah, no, dude, like, doing weird stuff with food is absolutely worth it. It doesn't always work out, for sure.
Do you ever eat some of the old, like, weird stuff that, like, people... Like, did you have, like, weird stuff that your parents were, like, super excited for you to try when you were a kid? They're like, oh, this might be gross, but you should try it.
Yes.
Like, have you ever had lutefisk?
No.
Never even heard of it?
No, I don't think my color on my skin is white enough for
It's
that.
it's a traditional Norwegian dish.
Yeah,
So
definitely not. What is it?
it's like it's fish that is like salted to death and then salted some more. And then with how they cook it, it ends up it's like they call it poor man's lobster. And like they'll have like they used to have like these lutefisk dinners where they'd make just a shit ton of it. And they'd actually get it shipped in from Norway.
Sounds good to me.
And you dip it in butter, so it's like it's like I said, it's poor man's lobster.
I mean-
but it fucking stinks. Oh, it fucking stinks.
Oh, it's that thing that you can't...
It tastes good, but it fucking smells.
It's not allowed on airplanes. I've seen my nephews watch a video about it.
I believe it.
It's like not allowed on airplanes.
I would believe that.
I want to try. I want to try it. I've seen videos. Holly likes these YouTubers, and they tried what I assume is the same thing, and it's like it stinks really bad, but it tastes really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
How about levsa? You ever had levsa?
No.
Levsa is kind of up your alley. It's also a Norwegian thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is potato tortillas,
Oh, that sounds scrumptious.
essentially. Like, so you take potatoes and you mash them, and then there's a whole process. And then by the time you're done with this process, you pour them onto this big skillet to make them into like tortillas.
That sounds awesome.
You just slap them with butter after you let them cool, and then you just put butter on them. Some people put like sugar or brown sugar or cinnamon and stuff. I always just did straight butter, roll it up into a little burrito, and then eat it.
Oh,
Always
wow.
eat them at like holidays and stuff.
Is it sweet or is it savory?
Depends on whether you add like the sugar and stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't, and I put chicken on it. That sounds amazing.
I've never put meat on it.
You should.
It's just, I mean, it's good enough on its own. If you're ever up here around Christmas or a holiday, or if I come down there, we'll find some.
Well,
We had some, I think, at Les and Susan's at one time.
I haven't had it. Well, I told Holly about Les's invitation to go see them, and she's absolutely down now. So
Nice.
she's like, "Let's go tomorrow." I'm like, we can't, but we can plan something. I said guns, and she got really excited. I can bring the auto shotgun, the bullpup. That'd be really fun.
There you go. Yeah.
That way, I can finally beat your wife in skeet shooting. I just never stop shooting.
Well, it's a semi-auto. It's not a full auto shotgun.
Yeah. Anyways, did you just ring a bell?
No.
Oh,
Oh, I probably did this.
yeah.
It was my phone hitting my Yeti.
My favorite meal, which I can't have because I've tried to recreate it and I just can't capture the gloriousness of this meal. In Omaha, there's you might have one over there. I doubt it, but in Omaha, there's a place called Summer Kitchen Cafe. It's like a grandparents' dream, right? Almost like a diner. They serve old people food, liver and onions, very much like a Luby's, but it's like dine-in, like waiters and stuff. There is a hot turkey sandwich. It's an open-faced sandwich. with just like Thanksgiving turkey, cranberry sauce on the side, stuffing, mashed potatoes, smothered in gravy. I would kill to eat that again. And I've tried so many times to recreate it. I don't know what kind of bread they use, but it doesn't fall apart after sitting in the gravy.
You ever heard of Capriati's? They're a sub store.
Mm-mm.
There's one up here, and they actually have a sub. Like they specialize in like smoked turkey, and one of their sandwiches is smoked turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce.
Sounds fucking awesome.
I don't like cranberries.
I mean, I don't like cranberries either, but I could fuck with cranberry sauce.
If you ever get a mission up here,
I've been trying, but they want to go to like Puerto Rico and Hawaii and St. Croix. It's like we've been a dozen times. Can we just try something new? Which we did. We tried Charleston, and that was ass.
Somebody almost went to prison.
Was not a fan of Charleston.
I like their chew.
Do you?
Charleston Chew, candy bar.
Don't know. It was. We had they had a Capri Sun sangria pouches. Those were scrumptious.
Hmm.
But other than that, everything was super expensive. Which I didn't pay for anything because I bought everyone pizza the day before. So my crew said, "You're not paying for your drinks or food when we go out," because I fed everybody. It was a fucking mom and pop pizza shop down the night. They made me 3 like 40-inch pizzas. They were huge for $60. Like, it was a steal, essentially. Cheap ass, dirty pizza, but because of it, I got drunk and ate a bunch of seafood for free. So
nice.
No complaints. My shit's the next day, though. Oof. But Wi-Fi's doing much better today too. By the way.
Yes.
It's been really nice. Couple things before we get too far gone. Had some students that went to SEER. Just got back. Which SEER is our Survive Evasion Resist Escape.
Who did they go see? What's her name?
SEER?
Yeah, what's her name?
SEER. So you're an idiot, but I love seeing my guys come back from SEER because they go disgruntled with the military, right? They go to this training beforehand. They're disgruntled. They're worn down from like the process and training and all this stuff, which happens, right? Because it's a lot of bullshit. Then they come back. I swear, if they could have fucking United States Air Force tattooed across their chest, they would. It's almost like brainwashing. They're so fucking into it, and it happened to me. I can't talk shit, but like it's fucking hilarious how like much this training just changes things around for you. For prime them American tears. Also, fun fact, fun little antidote, whatever. When I was at SEER, they had a bag over my head, and I can't describe exactly what happened, but the bag came off, and the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life is there interrogating me, and she smacks the shit out of me. Right? I know I've told this story before, but like I can't go into too much details. That woman yesterday. The same
nice.
way. And I was like, "Do you remember me?" She's like, "No." Like she didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, "You slapped the shit out of me." And all she said was, "Hey, we don't talk about that outside the training environment." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And it was...
That was yesterday?
Yesterday.
So you went back to being a little bitch.
Kinda.
Okay.
She has a TikTok, actually. Semi-successful TikTok. I'll send it to you. Don't worry. I got you.
I look forward to it. You want to hear a joke?
I would love to.
So there was a guy working at like a sporting store, and they had a new policy that started that said you get a 10% discount if you're in the military or former military.
Okay.
So this guy comes up and he goes to check out, and he's like, they ask him, he's like, "Oh, are you military?" And he goes, "Yeah." Because I used to be. He goes, "Oh, he asked him, "Are you active or retired?" He goes, "I'm retired." What branch were you? And he goes, I was in the Marines. Okay. And he asked him asked him something only a Marine would know. Like what unit were you in? He goes, all right, cool. He goes, you can go ahead, and gave him the discount, moved on. The next guy comes up. He's like getting his stuff, and he goes, I was actually in the military as well. And he's kind of like, yeah, sure you were. Well, what branch with you? Well, I was the Army. Okay, well, what were you? I was, the 101st Airborne and da-da-da-da. And he's like, all right, gave him the discount. Third guy walks up. He's like, you're not going to believe this, but I'm actually in the military. He goes, so are you active or retired? And he goes, well, I'm active. And he goes, what branch are you in? He goes, I'm in the Air Force. And he just rang him up, gave him the discount, and the person walked up, and she's like, why didn't you ask him anything? You asked the first two people, but not the third one. He goes, because who the fuck is going to lock in the Air Force?
No, you got to change the joke. You got to change the joke from Air Force to Coast Guard.
No, it's way more funny when it's Air Force.
It's funnier for the Coast Guard, guaranteed.
No way. I would definitely... Those Coast Guard motherfuckers are proud to be in the Coast Guard.
They are.
They're not active military. Like, all they do... I've seen fucking the Kevin Costner movie with Ashton Kutcher.
Guardian. Great fucking movie.
Yeah. Great movie. You're telling me that you want those motherfuckers to be embarrassed?
Okay, you're talking about a special forces unit pretty much. We have PJs, we have TAC-Ps, we have special forces.
Yeah, are you one of those?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
I could never.
That's why who's gonna lie about being in the Air Force?
Listen, my job is pretty cool though, still.
Okay.
I'm pretty other jobs. I mean, it's still the Air Force is. Yeah, okay. I thought this was going to be a gay joke about the Navy, honestly, so I was getting kind of excited.
You were hoping I was going to make fun of the Navy, and now you're all butthurt.
Yeah. I was waiting for like a gay joke drop.
That's even better. I kind of figured you had heard that already.
No, it should have been like, you were in the Marines. And it's just like, all right, well, I got to ask you a question to see if you're in the Marines. And you're like, the guy's like, okay, what is it? And he's like, what's 2 + 2? The Marine's like, I don't know, 5? That is funny to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that joke could go so many ways. Nico Ortiz. He's a content creator. He's pretty popular. He does, I think, the best skits for all of the different branches. That really,
I think I've seen him.
Yeah, he's kind of fucking wild, high energy kind of guy. But I think he does the best skits for all the branches personally. Like, obviously, over exaggerates the whole goddamn thing, right? Like, which is the whole point of comedy. But the Air Force guy, he has like a hat on and glasses and is very like put together. And I think that's fucking hilarious.
Seems right.
For like pilots and stuff, I suppose.
You suppose.
Being in the military has been probably one of the best things to ever happen to me. It fixed a lot of issues I had. It made a lot of issues worse, but it did fix a lot of issues that I had overall. Organization, like, made me grow up, taught me how to lead, stuff like that.
It did?
It did.
Then why do you ask me fucking questions all the time?
Because you're old.
But if you know how to lead, what do you need to... Why are you asking questions
Just
still?
because I know how to lead doesn't mean I'm the best leader. I can always learn. And I was always told, ask your elders. And you're old as fuck. So.
Yep.
I ask you a lot. Actually, I have a...
I'm so old, my wife gets blood clots.
I have a... I'm getting promoted in December, so that's going to be a whole can of worms.
It happens.
Yeah. I guess I'm doing a good job and stuff. That's what they keep telling me. Don't feel like I am, but...
You want to know how much of an overthinker I am?
How much?
And like paranoid as fuck?
Tell me.
So last week at work, I only covered somebody's desk on one day.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing stuff the other days, but it's slower when I'm not covering.
Yeah.
I get a message from my boss on Monday. Hey, how many MSP accounts? How many accounts did you cover last week? I was like, I just covered one on Friday. Okay, how many offers did you make? One, but it got declined. Okay, thanks.
So you think he's like gunning for you then?
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would you ask me that? Why are you worried about, it's like, and so I'm like looking, I'm like, did other people have coverages last week? And, all this other shit. Because, yeah, I'm fucking like, what the fuck? Why would you ask me those questions? You want to know what it was?
What?
They ran a contest last week for offers made to clinicians, and I got a $20 Amazon gift card coming to me now. I fucking was freaked out for like an hour and a half
For no reason.
For no reason.
Well, I mean, I can see that though. I know your job specifically has gotten less traffic now that COVID's done. People aren't as interested in doing travel positions, so.
Yeah. Well, it's not that people aren't as interested. Hospitals don't want to pay as much, so it's not as lucrative. So it's not as enticing to so many people.
And travel healthcare is a very, it's a young man's game, for sure.
Or it's young or extremely seasoned. Like a lot of people, like after they have their kids and stuff, will then get into travel after, kids move out, kids go to college, and, they'll do it as which makes total sense. Like, those are the ones you want traveling around.
Oh, they've got the experience out the ass. They'll pop it into an ER and make it better,
Well, make it better, but then help some of those new nurses or whatever they're doing. The newer people can learn some stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it's a thing we should kind of promote. Because those old salty nurses, they fucking know what they're doing. Or all clinicians that are seasoned like that, they know what the fuck they're doing. They can walk. I had a nurse. She had been a nurse for over 40 years by the time I met her. Her husband was a general in the Navy when he retired. She became a nurse because she was bored. That was the whole reason. She wanted a job that she could travel with. She said, they're always hiring nurses. So I was like, okay. And she was like the most well-seasoned, experienced nurse I've ever met. Someone could walk into the ER doors. She could look at him, ask him like 3 questions, and know exactly what the fuck is wrong with them. Almost every time.
Nice.
And she was a sweetheart. Like, a doctor would be wrong in a diagnosis, and she wouldn't like berate them or belittle them or do anything. They'd walk out of the patient room, and she's like, hey, did we think about this? I think maybe it's this, personal opinion. And 9 times out of 10, fucking Rhonda was right.
Fucking Rhonda.
I wonder where she's at. She might be like in a retirement home now, but
she might be dead.
She was in her 70s. Definitely should have retired by then, but she just liked it. She liked nursing. Like, she enjoyed it. So
yeah, staying a sweetheart after 40 years of nursing is impressive. I would get
very impressive. Her husband
I am not a good nurse. My wife asked me, she's like, she'll go to bed and then she'll message me and be like, can you bring me 2 Tylenol? And it's like, you're supposed to be asleep. Stop messaging me.
Just go get her the Tylenol. Jesus.
I know. That's what I have to tell myself, but I get pissy about it for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. I agree. But
I do too.
But some people are just made for it,
Yeah.
Some people are caregivers. Some people are just naturally are caregivers, and some aren't, and that's fine. We need people to take care of the sick, and we need people to hunt the bears,
And bury the sick.
And bury the sick. Well, I've buried the sick before. That's fine. That's easy. Not easy, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. But we are at time.
Well, I'm glad Korn was here. We gotta put him in the art.
Yeah. Yeah, you should do that. You should get him added to the art.
Hey, we had a view! On YouTube, we had a view.
Is having a whole damn cabinet dedicated to like every medicine. yeah, having a, or just have kids. We have a whole tackle box full of healing supplies at this point.
Hell yeah.
How big is your medical bag at home or cabinet?
Oh, massive. I have an oxygen bottle.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it is what it is.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for stopping by. Okayest, if you're still here, we appreciate you. Savage Corn, thank you for dropping in. As always, we are live on Twitch every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We are also live on YouTube if you want to chat with Thomas. He does YouTube. I handle Twitch. Any final words for the people, Thomas?
Don't pet the sweaty stuff, and don't sweat the petty stuff, baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you again, Savage Corn. And as always, don't have a great day. Make it a great day.
Jesus.
Toodles.